set or the null set. So you can set the empty set also or the null set also. A set which does not contain any element is called as an empty set or a null set. So that set does not contain any element. So it can be denoted by the phi. This is also called as a phi, or the curly braces which are empty curly braces. Okay, so by using these two symbols you can denote the empty set or the null set. Next, the power set. Let's set A is given, and then the null set phi and the set A are both the subset of the set A. So see here in this statement, suppose there is a set A is given, then the phi set or the null set or the empty set, it is one of the subset of set A. Okay, and the set A itself is the subset of set A. So in the symbolically I have denoted here, A is equal to in the curly braces phi and A. So by this statement you can say that the phi is also subset of set A, and that set A itself is a subset of set A. For example, suppose element A belongs to set A, then this element A is a subset of A. So how we can define the power set? Okay, by using this example you can define a collection or family of all the subset of set A is called the power set of A. Okay, for set A, a collection or family of all subsets of set A is called the power set of A. So what is the collection or family of all the subset of set A? So the collection will be the phi set also and that set itself also. So by using these two, null set and the set itself, we can denote the power set. So how we can denote this power set? By using the symbols. So it can be denoted by the P of A. It is the power set of A. Suppose you want to denote the power set of B, then power P of B is the power set of B. So I have here one example taken, that is set A. Or another symbol is that 2 raised to A. So by using this also you can denote the power set of a particular set. So here symbolically we can denote power of A is equal to 2 raised to A is equal to X, such that X subset of A. So here in the 2 raised to A, what is meant by the A? A denotes that, or A recommend that the number of elements in the set A. So here the power set of the null set phi has the only element phi. Hence we can say that the power set of phi is always the phi. Next, now see here one example. B is equal to, set B contains the two elements A and B. Then the power set of B is equal to 2 raised to 2. So here I have denoted that we can denote this power set by using the 2 raised to A. So here in this example, see 2 raised to 2. Why it is 2 raised to 2? Because B set contains only 2 elements. That's why here the 2 raised to A will be the 2 raised to 2. 2 raised to 2 is equal to 4. So that power set of B contains only 4 elements. Okay. So check here the elements. The power set of B is equal to phi set also, null set also, as you have seen in the definition of the power set. Okay, that phi or null set is the first element of that power set. Then the element A, which is included in the set B, the element B, which is also the subset of set B, and the set itself also subset of set B. So here AB, it is also element, or it is also subset of the set B. Understood? There are the 4 elements in the power set of B. Okay, now see another example for the power set. There is a set C which contains the 3 elements, that is A, B and C. Then the power set of C is 2 raised to 3. Why it is 2 raised to 3? Because 2 raised to A stands for the elements included in the particular set. Okay, so here in the C set contains the 3 elements only. So 2 raised to 3. 2 raised to 3 is equal to the 8. So there are the 8 elements in the power set of C. So see here, power set of C is equal to the 5 first element. Always there will be the 5 first element. Then set A, which is the subset of set A. Set B, B element, which is a subset of C. C also subset of C. And AB, BC, AC and ABC. Understood? The collection or family of all the subset of particular set. So as you have seen in the definition of the power set. So these are all about the power set and its denotion. Then now our next point is the types of the operations on the set. Okay, so all in the previous PPTs you have seen that what is meant by the set, how you can define that sets, and what are the different types of the sets, null set, power set, and all those concepts related to the set. Now how we can operate on the sets. Okay, the sets operation, the two sets can be combined to get the new set. So so suppose you want to the new set, that's why at that point we have to combine the two sets, then and then only you can get the new set. So how we can get the new sets? So to obtain the new set we have to do some operations on the set, then you can get the new set. So you can get the result after operating on that set. So there are the types of the operations on the set. So what are the different types of the operations we have to perform on the set? So union, intersection, disjoint sets, relative complement, absolute complement, and the symmetric difference. So let's see these operations one by one. So first operation on the set, that is the union. So from the word you can say that you can understand what is meant by the union. Union means the combination, or union means you can unite the two sets and get the new set. Okay, so see here see here the definition of that union. For any two sets P and Q, the union of the set P and Q you can written as P union Q. This is the symbol of the union, P union Q. So it is the set of all the elements which are the members of the set P or the set Q, or both. Understood? The union of set P union Q are the members of the set P or the set Q, or the both. Symbolically you can write P union Q is equal to, in the curly braces, X, such that X belongs to P, or this is the symbol here. See here, this is the symbol or V. Okay, this is symbol for the or. X belongs to Q. So P union Q stands for the members of the set P or the set Q, or the both. From the definition there are the some laws are created. So it follows that P union P is equal to always P. Okay, second is the P union phi is always equal to the P, because phi contains the no element, so P union phi is always the P. So P union Q is equal to Q union P. It is the commutative law. Understood? It is a commutative law, that is P union Q is equal to Q union P. The fourth is the associative law. P union Q union R is equal to P union in bracket Q union R. Understood? Next, see here one example of this union of the two sets. The set P contains the 4 elements 4, 5, 6, 9, and Q contains the 5 elements 1, 4, 6, 10, 11 and 14. Then how we can combine these two sets? By using the union operation. So see here, P union Q. So what is the definition of the P union? Union means contains the set of elements of set P or Q, or both. So here 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 14. All these elements are included in the P union Q. Understood? All the elements which are contained in the P or Q or both. So here all the elements of P and Q are contained in the P union Q. So here there is a repetition of the element 4 and 6. Okay, so repetition is not allowed here, so we have taken here only single time that element 4 and 6. The next operation is intersection. The intersection of any two sets P and Q written as like this way is totally opposite of union. Understood here? See here, this is the symbol of the P intersection Q. So it is the set whose elements are exactly those elements that are in both P and Q. So concentrate on this statement that are it is totally different from the union. In the union, the elements which are contained in P or Q or both, but in the intersection there is one condition, and it is mandatory that the elements which are included in both P and Q. Okay, and symbolically we can write it as P intersection Q is equal to X such that X that is belongs to P and X belongs to Q. So this is the symbol for the and this is the symbol for the intersection. So in other words, we can say that in the short term, those elements which are included in the intersection, that those are the elements are common in the both of the sets. Okay, so by looking at the example, you can understood that more. From the definition here, like the union, it follows that P intersection P is always P. P intersection P intersection phi is always a phi. P intersection Q is equal to Q intersection P. Like the union, it is also follows the commutative law. Then P intersection Q in bracket intersection R is equal to P intersection in the bracket Q intersection R, and it follows the associative law. Okay, so see here one example of the intersection. P is equal to contains the same elements, same example of the union I have taken here. See here. So P contains these elements and Q contains these are elements. Then what is the intersection of P and Q? So intersection will be what is the definition of the intersection? Those elements which are contained in both P and Q, not or, P or Q. This or stands for the or considered in the union operation, but in the intersection operation we have to consider the elements which are presented in both P and Q. So 4 elements are also included in the P and Q, and 6 element is also included in the both P and Q. So other elements are not included in both P and Q. So the result will be P intersection Q is equal to 4 and 6. Only 2 elements here. Understood here? And this is the union which are included in both P or Q or both. But the intersection condition is that the elements must be present in both the sets. So in other words, you can say that the common elements of both sets P and Q. So common elements are 4 and 6, which are presented in the set P also and set Q also. Next, disjoint sets. Disjoints. Two sets P and Q are called as a disjoint if and only if P intersection Q is equal to phi. Means in another words, you can say that if there is no element common, then these sets are called as a disjoint sets. So say set A, B have no elements in common. A collection of the sets is called a disjoint collection if for every pair of the sets in the collection, the two sets are disjoint. The elements of a disjoint collection are said to be the mutually disjoint. So see here in the statement that the elements which are included in the disjoint collection are called as a mutually disjoint. So see here one example. P contains the 3 elements that 4, 5, 6. Q also contains the 3 elements 8, 9, 10. So see here if there is any common elements are there in the set P and Q, so there are the no elements in the set P and Q are common. So P intersection Q is equal to phi. So condition is here satisfied. We can say that P and Q are the disjoint sets. Next, see one example of the disjoint sets. A contains the two elements, that is 1, 2, 3. B contains that also two elements. C contains only one element, that is set 1, 2, 3. Then this is one example that we have to show that A, B, C sets are mutually disjoint. So what is the definition of mutually disjoint? The elements of the disjoint collection are called as a mutually disjoint. So what is the disjoint collection? A collection of the sets is called a disjoint collection if for every pair of the sets in the collection the two sets are disjoint. If the sets are disjoint, then the elements of the sets are called as a mutually disjoint. Then for this proof, or suppose you have to prove that ABC are mutually disjoint, then you have to show that the intersection of these three sets are phi set or null set. So see here first, A intersection B. So there are the no elements in the two sets are common, so result will be the phi. A intersection C, same here, there are the no elements in the common, so answer will be the phi. And B intersection C also, so there are also no elements are common, so B intersection C is a phi. Next, the relative complement. Let A and B, suppose any two sets are there, then how we can define the relative complement? The relative complement of set B in A, okay, so we can read like this, B in A, but written like that A minus B or A dash B. So how we can define? It is the set consisting of all elements of set A which are not elements of B. So understood here what is the relative complement of B in A? It is written as A minus B and defining as all the elements of A which are not elements of B. Symbolically, A minus B is equal to X such that X belongs to A and X belongs to B. So symbol is here by mistake is not written here. Okay, you can understand here X belongs to B is equal to X belongs to A and negation of X belongs to A. So this symbol are same. Okay, so it is also called the difference of set A and B. So relative complement is also called as a difference of set A and B. So see here one example. A contains the three elements A, B, C, and B contains the two elements that are B and C. Then how we can calculate the A minus B or relative complement or the difference of the A minus B? So what is the definition of A minus B? So A minus B means the set consisting of set A which are not elements of set B. So A, B, C are the elements of A. So which element is not included in B? So here the first element, that is A element, is not included in B. So our result will be A minus B is equal to E. Understood? Next, symmetric difference. Let A and B any two sets are there. Then the symmetric difference, okay, the symmetric difference also called as a Boolean sum, okay, of A and B, and it can be denoted as A plus B, and it is defined by A symmetric difference B is equal to the A relative complement B union B relative complement A. And from the definition of the symmetric difference, it also follows like the union and intersection. A symmetric difference A is equal to phi. A symmetric difference phi is equal to A. A symmetric difference B is equal to B symmetric difference A. It also follows the commutative law. And fourth one is the A symmetric difference B plus symmetric difference C is equal to the A symmetric difference in the bracket B symmetric difference C, and it follows the associative law. Next, see here one example. From looking at the example, you can understood more by what is the symmetric difference and what is the relative complement. Example here, A is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 and B is equal to 3 5 6 8 9. So symmetric difference is equal to A symmetric difference B is equal to A relative complement B union B relative complement A. So A relative complement B means what? The elements which are included in A but not in B. So what are these elements? 1 2 and 4. Union B relative complement A is equal to what are the elements included in this set? The elements which are included in B but not in A. So what are these elements? 6, 8 and 9. And we have to combine these or union these two sets to get the result of A symmetric difference B. So after combining or after uniting these two sets, we get the result here 1 2 4 6 8 9, and this is the result of our symmetric difference A symmetric difference B, or A Boolean sum of B. Okay, these are all about the sets, definition of the sets, and also the combination of the sets or the operations of the sets. Okay, I hope you understood these concepts. Okay, thank you.